This is Anthony with True Diamond Heart, continuing our video series on doing nothing and being everything. Surrender. Surrender is to give up that which is hurting us. That's all it is. Don't confuse surrender with sacrifice. We think of surrender, we think, oh, I'm going to give up what I like. Well, what we like, think about what you liked when you were 14, when you were 12, when you were 18, when you were 22. Many of those things that you liked were very destructive, and if you could have lived fully into them, you would have hurt yourself or others or been in jail or maybe dead. We don't know at the beginning until we move more deeply into stillness, more deeply into true humility, knowing our smallness and here, but our unbounded consciousness, limitless and magnificence in terms of consciousness and creative power. Humility. When we start to know these things, we start to understand that we're not giving up anything of value. What we're surrendering is that which blocks our loving, joyful grace, that which we crave most deeply. Is what we will find as we surrender our small will, which is our will to get more than we need at someone else's expense, to get more sex than is healthy or sex that is unhealthy, to get attention, to keep some sense of self inside and some sense of self projected to other people, all imagination, always stressed out, to try and keep getting more stuff, things, attention, power, money, sex, all of these things. We will surrender these things. Our bad habits, our unhealthy relationships, these things will fall away, and it'll be less a sense of surrender. But at the beginning, it helps to understand that we're surrendering to our greater self. Now, you can call it God. You can call it your higher self. You can call it consciousness, the universe, love, whatever word works for you. But you are surrendering to something bigger than your small constellation of daily petty desires. Now, if you're desiring for food for your children, it's not petty. If survival is important, survival for those around us, it's all crucial. But we know what we're talking about. Excessive stuff. We're talking about lust. We're talking about greed. We're talking about gluttony. We're talking about those kinds of things. We're talking about the lust for power over. That's what we're talking about. Those things are blocking our being. They're chasings, they're doings, we have a terrible fear because the thing that's chasing is the thing that will die. What we're surrendering is the parasitical nature that's feeding off of our being, fundamental being energy. We are source energy in embodied, magnificent source energy, and then this false personality, this running, doing, chasing thing that wants too much of everything, wants to beat everybody else and compare itself to everybody else. That thing is feeding off of our vital source energy. As we surrender this thing that we've thought was ourselves, I gotta beat that guy, I gotta beat that girl, I gotta get that guy, I gotta get that girl, I gotta get over that guy, get over that girl. That sense, when we surrender that, we find freedom. We find creativity and joy, which is why we're here, to be creative, joyful, to be considerate, compassionate, shining creatures, loving and saving and beautifying ourselves and the entire world and everybody that's ever been in it, that is in it. Including the animals and the plants and the rocks and the space, everything. Everything. We'll talk about that next time, the broadening of identity. Surrender. Slowly but surely. Start off with the idea and move as deeply as you can into this. And they say, thy will be done, God's will be done, not my will. Well, they say that and then they say, thy will be done. By the way, here's my list of demands. I want this, 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 this. You can't con God. Come on. Or, I am my own God in my arrogance. I know what's happening like this and that. And oh my God, why is that person not behaving the way that I want? Why did this fall apart? I have all the power in the world. I'm the president of this. I'm the richest of that. And nobody's doing what I want in the world. But you can't con God and you can't pretend to be God. But you can participate in divinity because you are divine. You are. What is the verb? To be. You are divine. You are not doing divinity unless you are being at one and at peace with your divinity. Then it happens automatically, not because you're trying to say, my name and my image in the mirror is doing all these things. Heck no, it doesn't work that way. Anybody that's truly created beautiful, amazing things knows there's something bigger happening. It is not coming from this little self. And yet each and every one of us has access. We'll get into that in the next video. Surrender. Embrace surrender. You're only giving up that which is blocking who you really are and what you really want to be. See you soon.